Hello guys, today I am back with a another video to help you guys who are struggling in set 10. Now set 10 I think is a little different in the other sense. A lot of it is because of the bag size changes and the chosen headliner mechanic. Right, so if you don't know, champions come from a pool of a shared pool or with a limited number of champions. So for example, there are only 22 of a one cost. So this literally here, there's only 22 of them in a game. So if someone has like 9 and another person has 9, then there's like 4 left, right? And so this goes on. This gets more scarce as the cost goes up. So for a 2 cost, there's only 20 of them. For a 3 cost, there's only 17. For 4 costs, is only 10. And for 5 costs, is only 9. Okay, just so you guys know. So this video will pretty much be like kind of going over as many things as possible in a single game where I play flexible and I don't have a good start. Right? I think this start actually was pretty unfortunate. So here I'm playing on Chicken Little. This is my Emerald Smurf. And it's okay. It's kind of a fake Emerald lobby. If you look at some of these guys, there are masters set 9, 9.5, and one of these guys, I think GG Toted, was actually at the Vegas LAN. He was in one of my study groups lobby. Day one lobby, round one lobby. So, anyways, let's get started here. Let's go over the video, and I'm just gonna run you guys through the entire game. And just so you know that this game is a first, and it will surprise you when you see how the game starts. One thing you guys should do is you should use the team planner liberally. Okay, if you don't know what to put in there for now, just put the super fans. So Kennen, Lilia, Echo. Kennen, Lilia, Nico. I think you should add Echo because he's the Sentinel package with the super fans, or Mord if you're leaning towards Pentakill, but usually Echo. And then you can even add Urn in there if you want to. That's just a good default shell to build around, so that whatever headliner you get, you will have a good item for them from the start. Okay, just like easy tip, play around Superfan. Okay, if you are lost, just default play around Superfan. Now, when it comes to buying your stage 1, stage 2 chosen, make sure you can play around it. So what I mean by that is you look at the traits that's being offered. So if I take my pen out here, we're being offered this Tom Kench. Okay, so this Tom Kench normally we don't pick up, but it actually has country. Okay, so what does that mean? I can actually activate the country trait immediately, which means we are more likely to pick this up. Let's say that this is like a KDA Eve. Can we activate the KDA 3-piece trait? Yes, because we have a Lily. I would pick that up as well. Let's say it was a Disco Tark. Is there a disco board we can make? Yes, I have a disco. I have a Nami right here. I would make the disco what's it called? The disco package here. I'll buy the Tarek, play the Nami, we play 3 disco. If I have true damage Kennen, I have true damage Senna and true damage Shop. We can play 4 true damage, right? So basically, any chosen you pick up in stage 1, stage 2 needs to be able to function with your board. And if you cannot find that, let's say there's a Pentakill Olaf here, right? You would not want to buy that because I cannot play around the Pentakill here, and I also cannot play around Bruiser. Look at my units. No Bruiser, no Pentakill. How can I play this Olaf? It's no good. You would rather not buy a chosen and wait until you can find something that synergizes with the units that are available to you. Okay, that's very important because if you buy a bad chosen and just lose every round, not only are you losing every round, but also you're preventing yourself from finding a new headliner with every shot. So if you didn't know, for this set's mechanic, the headliner is the rightmost is a free well, not free, sorry, is a automatic 2-star copy of a unit, and it doubles one of its traits. Okay, it counts for 2 as one of its traits, and you get a new headliner every shop you do not have a headliner. Okay, if you already own a headliner, then then it shows up every 4 rerolls. So if you're not spending your money, it shows up every 4 rounds. So I bought this Tom Kench 1-3. So then 1-4 is 1 round. 2-1 is 2 rounds. 2-2 is 3 rounds. So then my next headliner will show up at 2-4. Okay. which I'm sure we will see in this video. If you're keeping track, you'll see it. Okay, and then in terms of what units to hold, now that we're playing around this country shell, which is the TK and the Katarina, we look at our traits over here and we say, oh, what do we want to add here? Okay, we want to add bruiser to help our chosen. Usually, we want to add traits to play around your chosen. And again, if you have no idea what to do, you should just hold a bunch of super fan. Okay, very important. Kennen, Lilia, Nico, very good, very good. Okay, if you're very lost, you play those. And you examine the shop here, and there's nothing here you want, right? So if you look at this, like, oh, I have like a disco package here, right? But your chosen is not playing around disco in any sense, right? So this doesn't look very playable. You can play the Gragas over the Olaf if you want. Gragas is a better unit, but it is harder to two-star because it's a higher cost. So if you have like Olaf pair, you probably don't touch this Gragas. In this case, I'm down to use the Gragas over the TK, see if we can improve our buoyant strength and win some rounds, right? Maybe it might be a Gragas versus Olaf diff, right? So here you might think, okay, like, what do we do now? What do we do now, right? So if you look at our board, we'll go to the right, and we look at our traits, okay? Look at your next, how do you activate the next trait is the easiest thing to look at. So if you look at our next trait to activate, it's Crowd Diver. And what will Crowd Diver? How will Crowd Diver affect this board? It will. Our only source of damage currently is this Katarina. So Crowd Diver will actually give us more damage, right? So if you didn't know, basics of TFT, build a strong frontline backline. Okay, you need to do damage through your units, traits, and items. So 2-star unit, good trait, and items that synergize. Okay, and you need frontline so that your damage can actually stay alive and do the damage, right? Which is like usually 3 frontline items on a tank with the tank synergy, right? So it's gonna be units, items, augments, traits, right? All combined to give you good frontline and backline. So our frontline right now is country and bruiser, and our backline right now is this Katarina, and her trait is Crowd Diver. We need to activate this ASAP. Okay, so you can hover over Crowd Diver, and you'll see you'll have Eve as the easiest Crowd Diver to hit, and Yone as another Crowd Diver, the next other possible Crowd Diver we can find. Because after that is Zed, we can't hit a Zed here. So for augments here, if you guys aren't really sure, I would like to present to you the wonderful world of stats. Okay, if we're not sure what to decide on 2-1, you have no idea what's good. If you are unaware, there are stats that tell you the average placement of these augments on the round you get offered it. Okay, so let's use this as an example. We can sort by diamond plus here, so we get more analytics. And then we look at, okay, march of progress. There's 2 things to know with these augments. First is like their stats. So march of progress averages a 4.3 at 2-1. And why do we take March of Progress and how do we use it? Basically, March of Progress is used to in a reroll comp because you will not be able to push levels when you want, but you are getting XP every single round, which is basically like money every round spent towards XP, but you cannot push levels when you want. So you're going to be stuck at level 7 for a long time. And if you're stuck at level 7 for a long time, usually you want to reroll. You want to play a reroll comp. And if you're wondering, if you're like new, right? If you're new to the game and you're not sure what reroll comp means, reroll. A reroll comp is a comp where you try and 3-star a unit, okay? And 3-star a unit it's only 3 cost, 2 cost, 1 cost. And okay, why not 4 cost? Well, if you're you can't reliably 3-star 4 cost unit, right? So reroll comp generally refers to rerolling a 1 cost unit, a 2 cost unit, or a 3 cost unit. And if you're wondering what reroll comps are available in the game that are strong, you can open up this stats website, tactics.tools, and look at comps, and you can look for anything that highlights 3-starring units. So this country is a well-known reroll comp. We're playing around 3-star Samira, Urgot, Amumu, and I guess Set even now, and Vex. And then there's another one where you play around Jax. This is a new one that's popped up recently, where you play around 3-starring the Jax, and you play EDM and Musher. This is reroll Annie, right? Reroll any into playing Spellweaver and the Super Fan package plus Echo that we talked about earlier. And then MF, reroll MF. You know, you try to 3-star MF, right? So basically, any of these that feature 3 cost as a main carry, 2 cost as a main carry, or even 1 cost as a main carry, these are reroll comps, okay? Now, as to how to play them, generally speaking, you want to roll above 50, roll above 50 to keep econ. At a certain level, where chance of hitting the unit you're rerolling is the highest. So if you're rerolling 2 cost, generally that's level 6. If you're rerolling 3 cost, generally that's level 7. And if you're rerolling 1 cost, that's level it's a little different, but it's level 4 right before you hit level 5. So at the Krugs, and you don't spend money on leveling. But don't worry about one more reroll 1 cost. It's generally not as good. Okay, can be playable. Like Annie did win Vegas Land recently, so it is playable. But I would generally not recommend you guys to learn. If you guys are lost in set 10, stay away from 1 cost, 2 cost reroll, and stick to 3 cost reroll and 4 cost flex. Okay, for now. In this case, I looked at the stats. I'm like, oh, level up. Like, is level up any good? Like, we can look at the stats here. Level up. Oh, it's fucking terrible, right? How come? Because level up used to be a way for you to go fast 9, but fast 9 just got nerfed this patch. If you don't know what fast 9 means, it means going 9 as fast as possible and rolling for a legendary chosen. That's the general strategy in fast 9. And then here we have birthday present. So birthday present gives you a 2-star unit. Every time you level up, the cost determined by your level -4. So my level is 4, -4 is 0, but I can't get a 0 cost unit, so I got a 1 cost unit. So we leveled up to see what we would get, and this board has no damage, so I decided to make a Sunfire on Tankbench. And then what's it called? Now you're wondering, what do we make now? We can make items for Katarina, which is our only source of damage. So, and Katarina's AP, so we wanted to play towards AP, right? So we can make a Rod for Archangel, right, to give her some damage. We can make a Shojin to give her some mana. And it's good to note that Shojin keeps you flexible. So if we take a Rod here and play Archangel, we're stuck playing AP the entire game. We're committed, right? But if we take a sword to make a Shojin, Shojin can actually be used in AD comps. For example, Ezreal and Caitlyn can both use Shojin. It's just good to note that if you play the super fan shell with Caitlyn, she already gets a Shojin, so you probably don't want 2 Shojins, right? You can't end Caitlyn if you find a Caitlyn chosen on level 8. But if you find an Ezreal chosen, you can play Shojin Ezreal because he gets Deathblade as his super fan item. And if you didn't know, the super fan items are fixed for every champion. So, for example, Chosen TK will always get a redemption if you have super fan in. And you saw that what units was I holding? I was holding the Gnar because it's a super fan. Okay, when in doubt, hold super fans, right? And then when in doubt, play super fans. So here I can't quite play the super fans without having no damage. I could replace the Gragas and the Katarina with the Gnar and the Nico. But then I would have no damage. I would have a lot of frontline, no damage. You always need a good balance in backline and frontline, okay? Now, if you're wondering why I'm not holding these units here, Samira and Amumu, you can make an argument that I should have held the Olaf pair over the Gragas, but honestly, you know, we won the first round. We would try and build a streak, but we ended up losing. It's okay. I'm not too worried. So from here, you have a choice. A lot of people will either make 10 here to start generating income. Very important to make 10 here, or pre-level. These are pretty much your 2 main options. I like to pre-level when I know I need to level to 5 to play another unit. So in my case, I'm planning to play super fan no matter what. So I'm gonna level next turn no matter what. So I might as well pre-level. And what pre-leveling does is right now, if we don't pre-level, we get a level 4 shop. So these are the odds we have for of our next shop. So a lot of 1 cost and then some 2 cost, and then rare is 3 cost. And then a level 5 shop will have a higher chance to hit a 2 cost, a 3 cost, and a small chance to hit a 4 cost. So usually you pre-level when you are not looking for the 1 cost units anymore, and you're not planning on making 10. You're and also when you're planning to put in another unit. So on Carousel here, we kind of have a cloak. I don't really like playing around cloak. So there's not much we can make here with a cloak. I know they buffed Gargoyle, but Gargoyle's not a very is not a very good item. Maybe after buffs it's good. And then you might be thinking Spark works well with Katarina's AP damage. But the problem with slamming Spark is also not a very good item. I know this is like a lot of meta there's like a lot of meta ideas going on with making items like, oh, how do I know what's good and what's not good? A lot of times you can figure this out by watching top players, top streamers, and seeing the patterns, in the items they make. There's a lot of patterns. Okay, like if you get open tier and cloak, a lot of times you'll see adaptive being made. Um, yeah, in my case, I'm down for a 3-cost rod. To play around this Katarina, we're playing. I'm down to play AP. From this spot, AP items generally build out of rod and tier. And remember, the boards you make are determined by what items you have. Okay, if I have AP items, I cannot play an AD carry, right? Because then they don't do damage with the AP items, right? And same with vice versa, right? If I have an AD carry, I cannot end on AP with AP items. Okay, so here, as a rule of thumb, you should make by 10. You should make 10 by 2-5 90% of the time. Okay, if you don't make 10 by 2-5, it means your board is giga strong in your 5 streaking. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, like you pretty much make 10 by 2-5. Okay, you gotta find a way. Okay, if you don't find a way, you're probably going 8th. Like, not even joking, because if you can't make Econ in this game, Econ is what allows you to make plays, right? What is making a play in TFT? You re-rolling and leveling are actions you can take to improve your board, right? So if you no money, you cannot do that. You cannot improve your board. Okay. So here we play the super fan, and you're like, oh, we took out Bruiser. Isn't Bruiser important for Tom Kench? It is. It is good for Tom Kench, but super fan is extremely good shell to play around. You get a free item, and it's actually the reason why we it definitely spikes our board more than if we had played Bruiser and added like the random vibe that we got dropped, and we got to make 10, right? We want to play around these units, these super fan units, the entire game until we can get rid of them. Pretty much the only way you get rid of them is you have the item to replace this free item, um, or you just have like a bunch of legendaries to replace them, a bunch of like 2-star legendaries to replace them. Yeah, if you don't learn anything from this video, like if there's anything you learn from this video, it's that play around Superfan. Click on the Nico, click on the Cannon, click on the Lilia, try playing around Superfan, and then you can play around KDA next. Like we said, how do we improve our board? Start of every round. Once you finish fixing your board, look to the left, look at the traits you're playing around, and then say what comes in next. KDA, Bruiser, Crowd Diver, Sentinel. I'm down for any of these. Why not true damage? Actually, because we have one away from true damage, we could play this Yasuo we have in shop and hold it on the bench. It's because true damage will buff our cannon, but we're not playing around our cannon. Our cannon is not important to the core of this comp. Right now, we're playing around Tom Kench Country Frontline and Katarina Crowd Diver Backline, right? And true damage buffs the cannon here and the Yasuo, both of which are relevant, right? Both of which are relevant for us here. So we'll look at the shop again, re-examine, and you might be wondering, when do we sell this Tom Kench? When do we sell this Chosen? You sell when you feel like they need to be fired. Okay, if they're not doing a good job, like in the real world, you fire them, right? So when he's no longer doing well, we fire his ass. So if you're wondering, oh, is this good enough for stage 3? That's something you have to ask yourself. That's something you have to ask yourself. But a general rule of thumb is if you're getting shit on, you might as well open sell him and look for a better one. I would not necessarily say roll for a better one. I'll just open sell and continue losing until you find a better one. Remember, you can build a lose streak. It's fine to lose as long as you're streaking, okay, to make money, okay. So here, okay, so here's interesting. This is a meta idea, but next we're thinking about Bruiser or KDA, right? So which one do we put in next? KDA is basically Bruiser because it gives 10% health to everyone. Bruiser gives 100 health to everyone. And KDA gives 10% AD and AP to everyone, doubled for KDA units. It's definitely KDA next. And maybe wondering, oh my god, 4 cost Bruiser? This is amazing. Again, another meta idea. He is very expensive. So if you play him, you better be playing him the entire game because he's gonna destroy your economy. And the other thing to know is that Zach sucks. So if you didn't know that, sorry, it's just a knowledge diff. So for items here, if you're completely lost on what to make, I was a little bit lost in this game on what to make. You should make an item when you have. You should try to make an item when you have 3 components, and definitely make an item when you have 4 components. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 components. I should probably try to make 2 things. Now, what 2 things should you make? If you're lost, play around the board that you have. Okay, so what are some frontline items I can make on my Tom Kench? If you look closely, a frontline item could be a gargoyle and a heart steel, and these are the 2 main tank options. And then let's look at Katarina items we can make. We can make a jewel gauntlet, a gunblade. It's not Morello because we have some fire free heal cut already. It's not Spark. We discussed Spark earlier. And it's not Crown Guard because that's a frontline item, right? And we already have the Rod on Katarina. So our options here look to be Stone Plate with Gunblade or Jewel Gauntlet, which I don't like because Stone Plate has been historically very bad in this set, but it did get buffed, so you know maybe I'm wrong now. This patch maybe Stone Plate's better. And then the other option is Heart Steel, which is is S tier tank item, and then probably like Gunblade. So I actually ended up going for a Heart Steel Gunblade. Another meta idea you can do, this is kind of a meta idea, but you can make the Jewel Gauntlet on Katarina, and since Gargoyle is so bad, we can just make a BT on Katarina as well. And you're thinking like, okay, wait, what? BT like doesn't even do anything for your board right now. Probably put the BT on Tom Kench. But you're like, oh, BT doesn't do anything on the board right now. It's true, but AP plus Bruiser is a package that you can play in multiple comps on level 8, which is the default strategy if you're not rerolling. So, for example, Ari plus Akali. Akali will hold the Bruiser items, and Ari will hold the AP items. And then the other one is Karthus Viego. Viego will hold the Bruiser items, and Karthus will hold the AP items, and even Karthus Akali, right? So making BT here is not necessarily the end. Is not bad. Is floated to me by someone in my study group. But I ended up going for a Gunblade and a Heartsteel here. As you can see, this board sucks. We need to get rid of this stuff. Like, so how do you know your board sucks? So depending on how much by you lose by, okay. So if you lose by more than half or more of the opponent's units, so this is 3 out of 5. This is not looking good. Okay, your board's not looking. You might be losing by a little bit by too much. Okay, just so you know. Just so you know, it might be time to pivot off this Tom Kench. So for these augments, again, you can refer to the stats, or you can think about your spot. Critically think about your spot. So I'm thinking I need to fucking fix this, okay? Because this spot sucks. So what you can do here. Oh, and for level timers, because my friend was asking about, he's new to the game. He's asking about level timers. The default level timers are level to 6 at 3.2. Okay. If you're desperate, level to 7 at 3.5. Default is level to 7 at 4.1. And then default level 8 is 4.2 if you have like 30 or more gold. Otherwise, it's 4.5. Okay. And those are your level timers. And that refers to the rounds up here. You can see we are stage 3 and then round 2 currently, right? As indicated by 3.2. Now here, augments that will help me fix my board include rolling for days. But I was a little for fun on this account, so I'm like, okay, let's try Recombobulator. So I'm going to try and Recombobulator and play around the super fans. So I bench the super fans and then see what I get. And obviously, this is not a very good Recombobulator because Recombobulator gets more value when you have higher cost units on the board. I don't have a single forecast here, so this is kind of a pretty bad Recombobulator. I should probably have taken rolling for days. If I was playing seriously, I would level to 6 and take rolling for days. Sell my chosen, sell this Katarina, and just start rolling. What are you rolling for? Rolling for the super fans with a Sentinel, and then any chosen that can use a Shojin Gunblade, and then we'll be chilling, right? Put the tank items on Nico or the Sentinel you find like Echo or more. So yeah, this Recombob is pretty terrible. There's not much to say. We level because it's the correct interval, and I play the super fan shell, but I don't have it chosen. Um, yeah, it's pretty awful. But what you do, the way you play, the way you try and fix this is you put the units in you know you want to play around. So if you look at this initially, I do not want to play around Zach. We talked about Zach earlier. We think he sucks. We do not want to play around Riven because playing around Riven generally means playing Riven reroll or some kind of edgelord reroll. And to play that, we need like Titan's BT, Hodge, right? It's item dependent. Every comp is item dependent, right? You don't play a reroll comp if you don't have the items for it, right? Similar with this Samira, like this Samira implies we'll play like country Samira, but I don't have the items for it, right? I have Gunblade Shojin. I don't have IE, Last Whisper, Hodge, any crit items, that kind of stuff. So I'm down to like immediately sell, immediately sell, immediately sell. Fucked it, not playing around Bruiser, immediately sell. Play the super fans, play KDA. Okay, and then we can play around the Garen we just hit. We're looking for a Sentinel, which is from the super fan, and then we're looking for a rapid fire, which comes from this Aphelios. So yeah, that's how we fix the board relatively quickly. Okay, if you guys are a little bit lost at this point, right? So the reason why it's so important to play around good units is because you don't want to hold units you're never going to play. Like, we're never going to play Zach. We're never going to play Samira. If you play on the board, that's like 7 gold. And that gold could be used to make interest. Like, I could have, for example, not making 50 here would be terrible, right? Because remember, we need money to make a play. And my board is ass cheeks. So if I don't make money, I can't fix the board later, right? You either fix the board now or you fix the board later. And right now, we're playing to fix the board later. And then here, we find an acceptable chosen, right? And because we're playing around this super fan shell, playing this chosen is really easy. We just slot it in. And then we can take out the Garen because having a Garen and this more chosen doesn't actually give us anything here. Also, items are much better on Mordekaiser, right? So here we're playing the super fan shell, and then we're adding 1 KDA, which is Seraphine, but could be any KDA, could be like Eve or Kaisa or whatever. And then we're playing this Aphelios because it's the only backline we have, and we're desperately looking for a rapid fire unit. Remember, examine the shop. If you I would not recommend rolling for one though, mostly because if you hit, it's hard to play because you're already playing KDA, and you aren't even that much stronger with it, right? These Aphelios items are pretty bad. Like not terrible, but like not very good. Like, as you can see, we're losing by 3 units again, right? So we're taking pretty bad losses here. We're kind of desperate. Well, I'm not down to tank 2 more. I have birthday present as well. So what we do here is we straight up just level to 7. Right, we're gonna level to 7 here, and then here I'm thinking like, okay, what do we need here? So the way to think about this is, what item can we make immediately? We want a backline item here, right? Because we have 3 frontline items, and we're missing a backline item here. So we want to take a rod, probably like a rod here to, because we're playing this AP line. But I was like, oh, this is maybe this maybe I can take this Akali, because Akali is a direct upgrade over Seraphine, because Akali is also KDA. I think taking this belt here is okay. We can make a Warmogs for Mordekaiser and pop the Sunfire off. Sunfire is a fake tank item, right? You should consider Sunfire as anti-heal and a damage item, not a true tank item. But honestly, if we're playing seriously, we should take a rod here. Like, if I was playing seriously here, I would take a rod here. 3-cost rod is pretty good. Level up, see what we get from birthday present. Oh, another Mord. Okay, so this is where the flexibility and adaptability in TFT comes from. Okay, so we talked a lot about building a board, looking at our traits here, and what we need next. We're looking for Pentakill and Rapid Fire, right? You need to see, do we need more damage? So instead of playing the second Mord, we'll play this Caitlyn, right? Because we need more damage. And what's it called? Yeah, and then flexibility, I was just dropped another Mord. So actually now we have a Mord 3 angle. So you need to play, and in this set 10, the hardest part is just playing around the chosen you get. A lot of people, they're like, I want to play Disco. You go level 8, you roll for Disco chosen, you just don't hit TF and Blitz sometimes, right? This said, you have to be extremely flexible until you can figure out what to commit to. So, for example, you can't really commit. It's pretty hard to commit Disco until you have like multiple copies of Blitz, TF, and or hit the one of the chosens, right? Disco, TF, Dazzle, TF, or Disco Blitz. Sentinel Blitz kind of sucks. So yeah, you kind of don't want Sentinel Blitz, but yeah, it's hard to commit disco when you don't have those requirements, and that's part of why the set is so difficult. Is because you must be willing to play anything you get. And so what I got here is 6 copies of Mord, and I know that Mord 3 is pretty good. So if you don't know if these 3 costs, frontline reroll is pretty good. They're pretty much all good. Like Set 3, Mord 3, Amumu 3, they're all really good. Echo 3, Nico 3. You'd be happy if you hit any of these, right? So now that we're like, oh, maybe I want to play around Mord 3. We look at Mord's traits. The Sentinel is tied into the super fans automatically because Lilia is a Sentinel. And then you play the super fan traits. And then since, you only need 1 for KDA, you play 1 KDA. Could be Ari, could be Akali. And then you look at Mord's main trait, Pentakill. So what is in Pentakill? It's Karthus Viego. So let's say we want to play around. So if we look at our items here, does Karthus like these items better or Viego, right? Viego is AD Bruiser and Karthus is AP. So since we have AP items here, we would prefer to play Karthus. So then that means we're going to play Karthus next, which means the Kali slots in. So if we're figuring out our third KDA unit, the Akali works with Karthus because it's Executioner, so that we don't need Ari. So like we already know like what our plan is for level 8. And then we want Karthus in. We want Karthus in. We're gonna play around Kali, and then we can play Gnar because Gnar is a super fan and a pentakill, so we can drop the cannon and play the Gnar instead. And you see like how we can like build a board just based around our chosen choice, right? If we say we're committed to this Mordekaiser, then that's our board. And if you're like, oh, okay, how do we know we need to sell like this Amumu and sell this Echo? Remember, Echo is part of the Sentinel package, but we're using Mord instead. Echo is part of the Superfan +1 Sentinel package. It's always either Mord or Echo. Don't play Blitz, that shit sucks. And then we're not playing around Guardian, so we sell Amumu, right? Look at the shop. We're not playing around Bruiser. Don't buy these. We're not playing around Samira. And then we we get a birthday present card. This is perfect. So a game went from pretty terrible to like saved, right? And then now it's just a matter of just building Karthus items. So here it just clearly looks like an Archangel to me. Archangel is a premier Karthus item. And then yeah, we want to transfer the items here to Karthus. So I'm down to just sell this Aphelios here. Yeah, we sell Aphelios, put the items on Karthus, and we're chilling. And now we have a plan, right? We're playing on KDA, we're playing on Mordekaiser. And your goal on when you go to level 8 is to win rounds or lose by less than 3. Less than 3. Okay? With as little money as possible. The reason being is that at level 8, you want to secure top 4 and then go level 9. When saving up your money and pushing levels, so you can push levels, so that you can place higher than top 4. Okay, if you want to cap out, and by cap out, basically what capping out means is making a even stronger board, like the strongest possible board possible. If you want to cap out, you need to build a strong board by spending the least amount of money possible. Okay. But sometimes you just have to roll a lot. So in our case, we didn't have to roll at all. Birthday present gave us the Karthus. But if we didn't get a Karthus, we got something shitty like I don't know, like Blitzcrank or something. We'd have to roll here to replace that Aphelios and Caitlyn, and also roll for Mordekaiser 3 here. But thankfully, we didn't have to. Like a Laurel game would look like. You get like I don't know what's the worst like forecast we could get here. I don't know, like, okay, if we got TF, we would play the TF and then sell more and look for a Blitzcrank, right? Basically, you play around what you get, right? So if let's say we got it, like a Zed. Okay, I don't want to play around the Zed, because then Zed is playing around crowd divers. I have no crowd divers, no EDM. I don't really want to play around that. I would sell Zed, and he's also not AP, can't use his items. I would sell Zed, and then roll for Mord copies, Superfan, the Akalis, the Karthus, the Gnar, right? Put it on your team planner and then start rolling. So here, looking at augment choices here. So I actually saw something very interesting. So, okay, you have my bow. It doesn't really make sense because we don't really need a bow, right? Usually you take these, you have my bow, you have my sword, and you need the components, and you can make something good. Combat cast is okay, gifts is okay. ODP here, long distance pals. If you didn't know, Mord scales off AP, and Karthus scales off AP, right? So there's synergy. You don't want to play ODP when you're ODPing an AD carry and an AP carry because there's like anti-synergy, right? AP units don't want to use AD and AD units don't want to use AP. But in this case, I have 2 AP units and I have an Archangel. If you didn't know, this Archangel will give more AP as the fight goes on, right? It works that way. So and then here I finally make my Warmogs on the Mordekaiser and pop off the Sunfire. And I just play random +1 to Thresh and a random extra Mord. Right? We want to spend as little money as possible. Like I can just use these guys are good enough. I don't have to roll for like unique units, right? You can play multiple copies or like 3 Guardian. That's okay, right? As long as your board is good, it doesn't matter. But anyways, this AP is updating, giving Mord even more AP. And if you don't know what Mord Chosen does, he gets AP per takedown. Right? I think it's like 2 AP a takedown or something. It's kind of crazy. Or 1 AP a takedown or something. So then Mord is giving Karthus AP. So the synergy is really insane here. So here I hit the Nard, and then I find a Kayn. I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I want more damage here. Honestly, this Kayn kind of sucks. He doesn't really do anything. I'm down to play a second Mord after watching this back. Because we're not really like playing towards Kayn, and this Kayn is Kayn good for your board right now? Debatable, right? We can see what he does, but I was thinking, oh, maybe I should try and put more damage in here, because this Morphine is pretty good. On a side note, this Gunblade is actually Giga Smurf on Karthus because he's not dying to their backline axes, the Akali and the Caitlyn. Actually, kind of amazing how these items worked out. I think in general, you should you should not be afraid to make good items because you don't know what you're playing on level 8. Okay, the standard level 8 flex play is literally play around what you get. Okay, so yes, items will activate will make certain comps available to you, but if you play this super fan shell, it's really easy to just make anything and then play around that. Like this super fan shell gives you a free item, right? So you're guaranteed 1 good item. It's really good. And then here you can see, oh, I got more off Carousel, right? So in general, if you already have good items, right, good item economy, I have 3 backline, 3 frontline, then I can start going for units on Carousel, like good units on Carousel. Right, so here, good unit for us is Mordekaiser because we're almost more 3. And then the general plan here is to go 9, right? We want to push levels to cap out. We'll get a free 2-star 5 cost from birthday present. So that's good. And then yeah, that's pretty much the best way to cap our board. I mean, rolling on 8 feels pretty bad. Basically, the instant you have a good board on 8, you want to stop rolling to save up money to go 9. It's pretty hard to, like, let's say I need a Akali 2 here. It's pretty hard to hit Akali 2 here. I could roll 60 gold and not see any Akali. Right, the odds of hitting that is like what, 18% for a 4 cost, and then like since the bag size is so small, like we discussed earlier, it's pretty difficult to hit just a 2-star 4 cost that you want on 8. That's why the headliner mechanic is so important. The headliner you pick must be able to carry you on stage 4, basically, okay, and you must play around them. Okay, that's why this set is so hard, is because you basically offered every headliner in the game, and you need to be able to play around all the good ones. Okay, in general, on level 8, you want to play around a 4-cost headliner, or if you play around a 3-cost headliner, it's something you can 3-star. Okay, here we hit the more 3, GG. And then we're playing around 5 pentakill, as you can see. So remember earlier we were saying, oh, what goes in next? We're like looking at Mosher, right? But remember, you look at Mosher, who is it buffing? It's buffing this Gnar, which is not really important, right? Our front line is Mord, and our back line is Karthus. So then you can also look at your currently active traits, and you can say, how do I activate the next tier of that trait? So this is pentakill. Or is there any super fan I can replace? So that's what we did with Gnar with Kennen, because they're both super fans. But Gnar is a pentakill and Kennen is a guardian, right? true damage guardian. So, and then here you're like, oh, any KDA to replace? Nah, I mean, Akali's the best KDA with Cardis. Any executioner replace? Not these guys. Any guardian to replace? It'd be York over Thresh, and then any sentinel to replace? Nah, super fan plus more, right? So that's kind of how you evaluate what goes in next on your board. Okay, what will activate your next trait? Is that helpful to your board, or improving or replacing any of your current traits? Okay, and you want to do this every round. Okay, so habits to build for building board strength. You look at what you're putting in next, and then you see the exact unit you said out loud in the shop. Okay, I was looking for Nar specifically. I was looking for Viego specifically. I'm looking for York specifically. And if I'm playing York, then I want to play Kale on 9. We can maybe play 7 Pentakill for a little bit. But I'm willing to drop this Viego because, you know, he doesn't really do anything. So it's probably York over Viego, right? We don't really necessarily have to play vertical Pentakill. Generally speaking, the verticals in this set are not the best way to cap out. Exceptions being like 6 true damage, 6 8-bit, you know, that kind of stuff. Or the Giga Cap, like 10 Pentakill, 10 KDA, that kind of stuff. So we're chilling here. We're looking to go level 9. And when do we go level 9? Basically, right after this creep round. You can also sack 1 to level on interval. If you don't know what on interval means, you get 2 XP a round, and it costs 4 XP to level up, right? So right now, I'm on interval. Well, we don't want to level during creep round because we lose interest. But right now, I'm on interval, right? So what that means is that the rest of the XP I need to level up is evenly divided by 4. So I'm not wasting any gold, so to speak. But if I level next turn, I'm wasting 4 gold. Because I spent 4 gold. Well, I guess you could say 2 gold. I'm wasting 2 gold. Because I spent an extra 4 gold to... if I wait 1 round, I don't have to spend that 4 gold, basically. Right? So this is off interval. But oftentimes, you can level off interval for immediate power. In our case, I just wanted to keep streak. We have a 7 streak here. And see what my legendary is, right? So yeah. We could have... yeah, so then here I have a Ziggs. Ziggs 2. And so Ziggs is going to be our shred. I was thinking about building magic shred. So once you build 3 frontline, 3 backline, generally speaking, you're looking for heal cut and shred to prevent enemy team from healing and to do as much damage as possible. So shred is like a lower enemy magic resist. So that would be Spark and Static Shiv and Ziggs. Ziggs has shred in his kit. And then armor shred is Sunder, so that would be Last Whisper and Even Shroud. Okay, so here we're playing AP. We were looking for shred. I found the Ziggs. Otherwise I would be looking for a Spark or a Static. But since I hit the Ziggs, now I'm just gonna play around what I hit. Like, oh, am I gonna play around the Ziggs? Yeah, Ziggs is sticking around forever because he's our shred, right? So we're gonna make scaling Ziggs items. So it's gonna be Shojin or Rage Blade or Archangel, that kind of stuff. So here it's definitely Archangel. Or sorry, it's definitely Rage Blade. And then for the rest of this, I'm trying to figure out what's the best Ziggs item I could possibly make here. It just turns out to be it's a little difficult, but it just turns out to be Gunblade. I mean, these don't look very good, but yeah, making it even show it's pretty fucking terrible because it's basically a minus item. But yeah, so maybe Gunblade isn't the best choice here. Some alternatives we can do could be like I don't know, BT for future Yorick. And then Warmox for a future Warwick. That's an option if you guys want. What else? What else is there? Yeah, that's pretty much all I see. You could even like Morello's if you wanted to. Morello's BT seems reasonable. I know we have heal cut, but Zig spreads burn to like the entire enemy team. That's not bad. Yeah, gunblade, even Shroud, probably not the best option here. You generally don't want to end up with like a dead item. So this is probably if you're a higher elo, you're probably gonna make fun of me for that one. My item choice is a little bit sus this game, but turns out the the double gunblade is actually kind of lit because it's making this Mordekaiser even more unkillable than he already is. It's kind of funny actually. My team is kind of unkillable. So we hit this Ziggs, right? So now we can think about, okay, how can we activate this Ziggs Dazzle trait? Because Dazzle is a good utility trait. We could play a TF, we could play a Bard. Usually we think of, okay, how do I play this Dazzle trait? What can I replace on my board here? And it's pretty hard. We don't really want to drop 5 Pentakill. Dropping this 5 pentakill means 15% less damage and more on this Karthus and this Mordekaiser. I have double pentakill carry. Probably can't drop 5 pentakill the entire game. And then I can't drop the Superfan package until it's very expensive to drop the Superfan package. So what I mean by that is that if I'm gonna drop the Superfan package, I should drop all of it. So I should drop the Nico and the Lilia. But then I guess we keep the Gnar. I mean, we're already playing the Gnar, so we might as well play it, right? And a replacement Sentinel, like we need Echo, right? But I have 0 Echo. So yeah, and then like if we replace all that, then like maybe like this Akali is less valuable because not activating KD. Basically, like when you drop Superfan, it better be like it better be like with legendaries. Basically, the Superfan package is very cheap and very effective. So yeah, it's very hard to drop Superfan here. Even if I rolled a 0, I would probably be unable to drop. I'll probably get weaker if I drop Superfan here. Most of it is because it's giving this Mordekaiser a best item possible, right? So again, once you're stable on the stage, we want to look to push levels. So I'm strong. I'm already winning rounds. I don't need to roll. Remember, roll is when you need to get stronger. I don't need to roll. Let's go next level. So here I'm going level 10. So here we're making our way towards level 10. Still can't really adjust my board. I'm looking to play a Dazzle in next, and then York over Viego. And since I'm playing a York is a Guardian, so I don't need 3 Guardian, which is Thresh and Nico and York. So I could drop Thresh. So like a basic like level 10 plan. Play a Dazzle, replace Viego and Thresh with a York, and then play a +1. Could be a Sona, could be an Alawi. Probably Sona probably caps out our board the highest because this Mord stalls enough time for a Sona to pop off. Also, this Mord is kind of giga broken. I don't know about you guys, but Mord 3 is actually kind of insane. Yeah, Mord 3 is a beast. Maybe I should actually come up with a Mord reroll comp. This guy is a monster. Yeah, trying to figure out how I'd make a Mord reroll comp. This guy is so good. Can I roll on 7 for Mord and then play like Archangel AP? And then just Mord frontline? I don't know. This guy's crazy. I'm trying to see if I can force this again, like low-key. This guy's a beast. Okay, anyways, the rest of this is just fighting more rounds. And then I think the more important thing to see here is just us going level 10. So in here, I put in the team planner the units I want. Generally speaking, this is very good practice so that you're not confused on the roll down, okay? No matter how good you are of a player, right? I hit Challenger last set. I'm basically Challenger this set. I was ranked 300. Well, I mean, I guess I can't say that, but I'm ranked 300 this set so far. It was ranked 100 earlier. This team planner shit is broken, okay? You should get in the habit of seeing what you want to put in next, opening up the team planner, and clicking on those units. And that way, it's impossible to miss when it shows up in your shop or when you're doing a roll down, right? So here we go level 10, get our second 2 cost chosen, and we hit a Jhin. Now you might be thinking, oh, what do I do with this Jhin? Like, it doesn't do anything. And you'd be right. This Jhin doesn't do anything. Also, there's a LDP tentacle bug here. Yeah, this Jhin doesn't do anything. So if he doesn't do anything, don't be afraid to sell him. Like, he literally doesn't do anything. So why keep him, right? Here we're looking for a Ziggs item to just, 3 items completed is very good. But yeah, if this guy doesn't do anything, who cares if he's a 2-star legendary? Like, he's literally worthless, right? Does he help improve our board? Is the question. The answer is no. Sell that shit, right? So what helps improve our board? Like Yorick 2, Kiana 2. Yorick 2 is obviously very good, and is a pentakill. Kiana 2, very good by herself, right? And then we could play Sona, right? Sona is in our late game cap. And then eventually the plan is to get a Mord item and drop the super fans for all legendaries. So I didn't get to do this game, but for example, we would drop the Lilia and the Nico, and then we'll play a 2-star Kiana and a 2-star Sona, for example. And then we could drop the Thresh and play like a 2-star Kayn or a Dazzle. Could be like Bard or TF or whatever, right? That sounds pretty good to me. We can also play the drop this and play the set. Usually set is very good. Actually, I think it should be set right now over the Thresh. If you didn't know, the level 9 packages, set is a Mosher and a Bruiser. So it pairs the best with Alawi Yorick. This is a late game legendary cap board. You don't play the Zac as Bruiser with Alawi because it's a worse unit and it doesn't activate Mosher. Or, yeah, it doesn't activate Musher. So actually here it was set over Thresh. I forgot I needed to sell Thresh immediately after I hit the Yorick. But I think I was thinking of dropping Superfan, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna play the Yorick Thresh package. But yeah, we should sell Thresh here and just play the set here. A little bit of inaccuracy on my board here, level 10. But yeah, it's pretty much a game. I mean, we just went level 10. We're just capping out. We're attempting to replace Superfan. I'm looking for a looking for Yorick 2, right? It's funny, I didn't have a Kali 2 the whole game. But yeah, we're basically just trying to sell our super fans here. That's like the next improvement we can do. I take a Jazz Bet because when I hit bar, that's my dazzle. This is the best way to cap out. I'm like very healthy. I'm gonna find a way to cap out. You could take like something else for current power, like a red buff or a high steel. But my board is very good. I just want to go for first tier. I'm playing for first tier, right? So I think Jazz gives us the highest chance of playing for first. And I'm really just looking for my upgrades here. And then what's it called? I did sell the Thresh for a Kiana 2, and I put the items on Kiana 2. These items are pretty trash, but whatever. You know, you just have whatever you have. For positioning, we're just making sure we get ODP value, and then this is just put Kiana in front of the guy with units you want to steal, right? So Kiana will create copies of items here. So if you watch Kiana here, I think she'll aim target and then aim blitz, right? Or she just aim blitz. So she's trying to steal items from Blitzcrank here. Oh, you can't see it because I opened up Team Planner. But yeah, I just try to steal items from Blitz here. Or whatever unit she's hitting. She creates copies of those items, right? And then here I'm like, oh, I kind of I have 72k on bench. What the fuck? Yeah, this doesn't look right. But honestly, I have so many 2-star legendaries. I'm like, it's kind of hard to fit this stuff. Like I guess I could sell Kiana. I mean, it's really just drop Superfan. I'm looking for a Bard here. I'm just looking for any excuse to drop this Superfan. Basically, if I lost the next round, I would get a Mord item off Carousel, and then immediately sell the Nico. Immediately sell Nico and Lilia. It's okay if you don't have Sentinel, like fuck it, right? Or maybe Sentinel is pretty important for more, so I'm not exactly sure what I'll drop here, but definitely feel like I have to drop something. This can't be my cap. This is pretty good. This board is very good. Board is pretty good. So hopefully you guys understand how to create. From watching this video, you understand how to play flexibly, play around the chosen you get, how to improve your board next based on your next trade in, or currently improving your current trade, replacing units in your current trade, and you have a general idea of like how to make items, and when to level, basically like the whole package in set 10. Okay, so if you're confused about anything or if you have any questions, definitely you can message me on Discord or ask questions in the YouTube comments. I will read all of them, and thank you for watching. Hopefully, you are less lost now in set 10.